On Christmas Eve 2007, while America was lost in the warmth of the holidays, a wooden house deep in the woods of Carnation, Washington, became the scene of a crime so shocking it made the whole nation shiver. 3 generations of a typical family were getting ready for a holiday dinner, not knowing that their Christmas gift would be death at the hands of their own kin. 6 lives were stolen in just a matter of hours, including 2 innocent children who never got the chance to grow up. This wasn't a break-in from the outside, not a stranger with senseless hatred. It was a bloody purge between blood relatives, where greed and resentment turned family into hell. Welcome to the Case Files, a space where we uncover real cases that rocked society, helping us grasp human nature and the price paid when moral boundaries vanish. Today, we're heading back to one of the darkest Christmas nights in American history, when family bonds were betrayed and greed became the murder weapon. In this episode, we're taking a deep dive into the infamous Carnation Christmas Eve murders, the Anderson family massacre that happened in Washington State on Christmas Eve 2007. This is the crime that forced a country to ask, is there any limit to the cruelty a person can inflict on their own family? Part 1. The family behind closed doors. Carnation is a small, peaceful rural town about 25 miles east of Seattle, where folks know each other and crime is almost unheard of. The Anderson family had lived there for over 30 years, in a cozy wooden house surrounded by thick trees on a sprawling property. Wayne Scott Anderson, 60, was a talented aviation engineer for Boeing, a symbol of Northwest industrial success. His wife, Judy Anderson, 61, was a devoted postal worker, always cheerful and well-liked by her colleagues. They had 3 children, Scott, Michele, and Mary Victoria. Scott Anderson, 32, was the oldest son, a model father and loving husband, raising 2 young kids with his wife, Erica Mantle Anderson. Erica, also 32, was a devoted mother. Her family always came first. Their children, Olivia, 5, and Nathan, 3, were the joy and light of the whole household, innocent kids with no idea what life really held. Michele Kristen Anderson, 29, was the youngest daughter, soon to be the center of this tragedy. Michele didn't have a stable job and lived with her boyfriend, Joseph Thomas McEnroe, also 29, who worked at Target. The 2 stayed in a mobile home on her parents' property. But beneath the surface of a happy family, old tensions had quietly smoldered for years. Michele always felt ignored, treated unfairly compared to her brother Scott. She claimed Scott had borrowed $40,000 over the years, but refused to pay it back, and that her parents always took his side in arguments. On top of that, Wayne and Judy began asking Michele and McEnroe to pay rent and utilities for the mobile home after a year of living there for free. That fueled Michele's anger. In her mind, everyone was walking all over her, and she had grown tired of it. Part 2. The Plan in the Shadows. 2 weeks before Christmas 2007, Michele Anderson began plotting an unthinkable plan. In a jail interview with the Seattle Times in 2008, Michele admitted that she planned to kill her family because she felt disrespected and wanted payback for what she saw as injustices. She convinced her boyfriend Joseph McEnroe to join her, and together, they started to prepare. They brought 2 handguns, a 9mm and a .357 Magnum. Michele's motives weren't just about money. It was a toxic mix of greed, resentment, and a victim's mindset that she'd nurtured for years. Prosecutors later described her motives as pure, undiluted greed. In her 2-hour confession to police, Michele mentioned money over 35 times. She thought killing her parents and brother would let her inherit the family estate and finally stop being treated badly. But Michele's plan didn't stop at 3 people. It included everyone in the house that night, even the innocent children. To Michele, this wasn't murder. It was a solution to her unhappy life. Part 3. December 24th, Christmas stains turn to blood. At about 4 p.m. on December 24th, 2007, as the sun dipped below tall trees in Carnation's woods, Michele Anderson and Joseph McEnroe drove their pickup to her parents' house. Stuffed in jacket pockets and under car seats were 2 loaded pistols. Judy Anderson sat in the living room, wrapping up Christmas gifts for the grandkids, prepping for a holiday dinner. Wayne Anderson was in the living room, maybe reading the paper or watching TV, totally unaware death was near. Michele and McEnroe entered the house, looking normal. McEnroe distracted Judy, taking her to a back room under some made-up excuse. Meanwhile, Michele pulled her 9mm closer to her father in the living room. But when she squeezed the trigger, the gun jammed. Wayne Anderson might have turned around, seen his daughter with a gun, but it was already too late. McEnroe heard the commotion, charged, and shot Wayne Anderson dead with a .357. The shot rang out. Judy Anderson ran from the back, but McEnroe spun and killed her in the kitchen before she could scream. 2 bodies lay motionless on the floor, blood spreading from head wounds. Michele and McEnroe didn't panic or show remorse. Instead, they started cleaning up. They dragged Wayne and Judy's bodies out to a backyard shed, then went back inside and spent the next hour mopping blood from the floor. They knew Scott, Erica, and the kids were on their way for dinner, and the plan was nowhere near done. Part 4. The 911 call. Cut short and the last cries. Around 5 p.m., Scott Anderson drove his wife Erica and kids Olivia and Nathan to the grandparents' house for a Christmas get-together. The kids were excited about gifts. Erica carried homemade dessert, and Scott was looking forward to a warm night with family. But when they walked in, Scott sensed something was off. Michele stood in the living room, gun in hand. He rushed her, trying to stop his sister, but it was too late. Michele shot her brother several times, bullets passing through chest and head, dropping him at his wife's feet. Erica Anderson screamed in desperation, wounded, but still managed to crawl across the sofa for the cordless phone on the table. Bleeding and shaking, she dialed 911, her voice echoing in the receiver. "Please help us." But the call lasted just seconds. Dispatch only heard arguing and screams, like some Christmas party gone wrong. McEnroe ran over, snatched the phone away, tore out the battery, and smashed it on the floor. Then, he shot Erica in the head, killing the brave mother who tried to save her family. Olivia and Nathan, ages 5 and 3, stood nearby, terrified, crying as their parents lay dead before them. Michele later admitted she ordered McEnroe to kill both kids, claiming they didn't want witnesses, and that the children would be traumatized for life seeing their parents murdered. McEnroe didn't hesitate. He shot each child point-blank in the head, ending their short lives instantly. In total, 6 people were dead, 3 generations wiped out in hours. 16 shots in all, every victim hit in the head. After finishing the massacre, Michele ran out to lock the front gate to the family property. When police arrived responding to the cut-off 911 call, they found the gate shut and decided not to investigate further, thinking it was just a misdial at a Christmas party. Had they forced entry and checked, 6 people might have been saved. But that chance was gone. Michele and McEnroe stayed in the house, sleeping near the 6 bodies for 2 nights before driving away to make it look like they were out of town. Part 5. Scene discovery and the truth unfolds. On December 26, 2007, Linda Thiele, Judy Anderson's close co-worker at the Carnation post office, started worrying when Judy missed work without warning, highly unusual for her. After many unanswered calls, Linda drove to the Anderson house to check. She glanced through the window and froze at what she saw. Bodies lying on the living room floor in dried pools of blood. Linda panicked, dialed 911, her hands shaking. At first, she thought she was seeing Wayne and Judy, but it turned out to be Scott and Erica. Police quickly locked down the area and started their investigation. They found all 6 bodies: Wayne and Judy in the backyard shed, Scott, Erica, Olivia, and Nathan in the living room. Each had been shot in the head, some multiple times. The crime scene made it clear this wasn't burglary or random break-in. It was a planned execution. 3 hours after police showed up, a pickup rolled into the driveway and stopped at the gate. Michele Anderson and Joseph McEnroe stepped out, strangely calm. During questioning, they said they intended to get married in Las Vegas, but got lost and drove back. What raised red flags for investigators was how neither Michele nor McEnroe asked about Michelle's family or showed any distress seeing police everywhere. That emotional flatness spoke volumes. After hours of interrogation, Michele began to confess. She described the whole plan: gun prep, method of killing, and her reasons for wanting to murder her family. In her 2-hour-long confession, Michele said she'd planned this for 2 weeks, tired of everyone stepping on her, and believed Scott owed her $40,000 he wouldn't pay. She was also angry about her parents wanting her and McEnroe to start paying rent. In a taped statement played at trial, Michele admitted, "I'm a monster." Joseph McEnroe admitted his full role, including shooting Wayne, Judy, Erica, and especially Olivia and Nathan, as ordered by Michele. Both were arrested at the scene and charged with 6 counts of first-degree murder. Full parties, the trial and tears in the courtroom. The case dragged on for years, partly because both Michele Anderson and Joseph McEnroe delayed their trials and switched lawyers repeatedly. McEnroe stood trial first and, in May 2015, received a life sentence without chance of parole, avoiding the death penalty thanks to Washington's governor's moratorium. Michele Anderson's trial came in early 2016, one of the most heartbreaking trials in King County history. Prosecutor Scott O'Toole played the 911 recording of Erica Anderson's interrupted call for the jury. In it, Erica's voice screamed, "Not the kids! No!" Pam Mantle, Erica's mother, sat in the courtroom in tears and told Michele, "When you shot my daughter, she called 911 not just to save herself, but her babies, because she knew you'd kill them too." Pam continued, "I don't think you're big and tough, Michele. I think you're a coward and a bully. My heart is broken. Every day, I miss those 6 people." Mary Victoria Anderson, Michele's sister, was also present, facing her sibling. Mary said she would have likely been killed too, if not for being too ill and missing dinner that night. She told Michele, "It kills me every day. I loved you so much. Just know they loved you." Throughout the trial, Michele sat quietly, showing no regret or emotion at the words or tears from the victims' families. In March 2016, the jury found Michele guilty on all 6 counts of aggravated first-degree murder. On April 21st, Judge Jeffrey Ramsdell sentenced Michele to 6 consecutive life sentences without parole or possibility of release. The judge didn't bother talking to Michele, but instead addressed the victims' families. "You have all suffered tremendous losses. Fortunately, this lengthy chapter of your nightmare is almost over." Michele Anderson is now serving her sentence at the Washington Corrections Center for Women, while Joseph McEnroe is at the Washington State Penitentiary. Both said they'd appeal, but nothing has changed since. Under Washington law, aggravated first-degree murder is punishable by death or life without parole. Michele Anderson received the maximum allowed. Conclusion: when blood ties betray and the value of life. The Anderson family massacre of Christmas 2007 wasn't just a bloody crime. It was a painful warning of the destruction greed, resentment, and delusion can cause right inside a normal family. 6 lives were stolen, not by a stranger, but by a daughter, a sister, someone they loved and trusted. Michele Anderson let her bitterness cross every moral line, becoming one of Washington's most infamous killers. Christmas Eve, a symbol of love, forgiveness, and reunion, became a night of terror that the Anderson family never woke up from. The lingering questions. Could tragedies like this ever be prevented? Were there warning signs the Andersons missed before it was too late? Or was this just the fatal end of a soul gone too far to save? The answers may never come, but this case reminds us that evil doesn't always come from outside. Sometimes it lives right inside the home we call family. If this story resonated with you, help share it to spread the true value of life and the dangers of unchecked greed. Subscribe to our channel for more true crime cases, and remember, nothing in life is more precious than family and empathy. See you in the next episode of the Case Files.